How's it going, guys? Boo here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make player models. And this is my most requested tutorial, so I've been planning to do it this week. I am a bit sick, I don't know with what or why, and I might not speak the best because I had a tooth removed recently. But I'm still going to go through with the tutorial, and if you can't understand something that I say, then please feel free to comment. So let's start by querying out our Blender. Press A twice, delete, and enter. Now I'm going to import the model that we're going to be working on. So stuff, gmod, got player model, this one, and okay, it's loading. It's a 3 megabyte model. Now most models won't have lots of bits and pieces, and they'll just be one entire piece. Those are a lot easier to work with, but I got this one on purpose because this is something that a lot of people face issues with, and I'm gonna show how to do it in a more effective way. So this is the model. I already have a texture set up for it right here. So I'm gonna press Tab to go to edit mode, or I can just go down here to edit mode. Select the entire model, and I can just drag the texture in, and I can view it. Yeah, it's all good. So first we're going to start by importing a human model. So desktop, I have a folder here for the tutorial which I will upload online, and import the male reference. So here it is. As you can see, the model isn't exactly like the human one because the arms are stretched out. That's not a big problem right now. We'll work on it later. We can fix that easily. So I'm going to start by pressing the bones, selecting the bones, and pressing Control Tab, or I can just go down here to pose mode. And I'm going to move the model to match up our current one. So in this case, this would have to be like this. I will move this. Now I'm going to move this bone here. Move it forward a bit, not too much. When you're moving the models, make sure you don't move too much because then it's gonna look really weird. So next goes this arm, so rotate it like this. This seems about right, and move this next bone forward a bit. Not is it? Yeah, it's this one. Move it forward a bit like that. Okay. Now we can actually get rid of this human model because we won't be needing it right now, so I'm just going to delete it. And our first step is to match up this skeleton as much as possible. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. These bones seem fine. This one can go here. Okay, and if you want to know the control I'm pressing, I'm using R to rotate. So R to rotate, G to move. And if I want to reset its positions, I press Alt R and Alt G respectively. And of course the middle mouse button allows me to move the camera. So I'm just gonna move these fingers so that they match up with my current model, and just gonna rotate, move everything, want the knuckles in the correct spot, move this on Y. If you press X, Y, or Z, it allows you to move in a specific axis. And next go these, like that. Whoops, there you go. This isn't the best, but it will do for just today's tutorial. Okay, so those arms are almost done, and I need to move this bone. The only problem is if I move this bone, it's going to move those. So I'm going to go to edit mode, which can be done here. And I'm gonna have to leave that for later. I'll just move these fingers really quickly and then I'll do that. So move this over here. Actually, this entire hand needs to be moved back here. Now I can move this to over here. That seems about right. Yep. Let's move this down, rotate it on Y, These need to move to the left. Rotate that. We can rotate this one like that, and this one can be moved in a bit there. And now I just need to rotate these. Now it's fine if this isn't perfect, because this isn't going to be our rig. This is going to be a temporary rig, and then our other rig is going to be done afterwards. Now that I have everything positioned how I want, I press A, now I press space, and I search apply, and click apply pose as rest pose. Now if I go to edit mode, the bones should stick to their positions, and if I press Alt R, Alt G with the entire thing selected, it doesn't move. Now I want to fix this bone, so I'm going to press tab, and I'm going to move this bone individually a bit here. And I'm going to do the same with this one, because I want it to be a bit more here. Okay, I'm happy with the results. Yep. So now we're going to apply our rig. Now the problem with this model is it has a lot of bits and pieces. Like you can see these knives, this pouch, sword, the cape. So I'm going to split the model, and I'm going to work with just what I need. And then those parts can be rigged separately. First, I'm going to start by going to this wrench over here, click it, and this shouldn't be here to begin with, but you click it, you press add modifier, you press armature, and here you click the skeleton. So apparently it's already named gut skeleton, not sure why, but okay. Now this is the basic armature. It doesn't have any weights to it, but at least the entire model is already parented to the bones. So if I move the bones in object mode, the model should move along with it, but not animate with it. So if I move this bone, the model won't move. So let's start by splitting the model. I go to edit mode, and I press tab, and by pressing tab, now I select the entire model once, I press P, and select loose parts. Now the model is split into lots of different parts, and this will make our life with rigging a lot easier. So I'm only going to select the parts that I really need. So these little bits and pieces, we can rig those afterwards. So I definitely need the arms, and this arm seems to be split into multiple parts. So I'm going to select this and this. We'll do this hand later because it's a mechanical hand, so it's going to work a bit differently. I'm going to select this armor piece, the legs, the face, and the feet here. Now if I move the thing, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to press select one of them so it's highlighted in yellow. I press Ctrl J. Now the entire thing should be selected as I want it. Now I'm going to press A twice to select everything. I'm going to press M. This is going to move it to a different layer, which we'll work with later. So I moved everything to one layer. Now the model should disappear. And down here, here's the layers. So I can select the second layer where I moved it to, and you will find it there. Now I want to move just what I want to rig. So I select the model, move to layer, first one. Select the bones, move to layer, first one. We'll leave everything else over here, and we'll rig those separately. Next, we're going to delete bones that we don't need, because Blender likes to do some automatic weighting. We're going to work with automatic weights, and Blender likes to screw those over if we have too many bones. So I'm going to go to edit mode on the bones, and we delete this one here, the attachment right hand. You can see the names over here, anim attach RH. We're going to delete this bone because we do not need it for now. We're going to need it later. We can delete this bone over here called the forward bone, and we would have also deleted the attachment on the left hand, sorry. But because I'm not going to be, because I don't have a right hand right now on this model, I'm just going to actually delete the entire hand. Actually, I'm just going to keep this bone here. I'm not going to the fingers. Yeah, I'll just delete. No, actually, sorry. I'm sorry. Or I'm just gonna delete the attachment, and then because I still need to rig the other model parts. All right. So now select the model, select the bones, and press Control P. And we want armature deform with automatic weights. Now Blender should have made the weights automatic. So if I go select the bones and I press Control Tab, I can move the entire model, which is really cool. Now, of course, these automatic weights really need work. As you can see over here, it's deforming in ways that we don't really want. So we press the model and press Control Tab. And now we can see the weights. If you have seen my view model tutorial, this part you are already familiar with, though we're going on a more complex level here. For those of you who don't know, I press Z here so that we can see the model easily. Basically, here's the weights. If it's blue, then it means it won't move. If it's red, so in this case, if I paint this entire area red, it moves. So if I paint this here red, you'll see it's going to move. And colors in between are not as strong, but they will still move. So we're going to select Auto Normalize because this is going to allow us to basically what Auto Normalize does is if I, for example, if I paint this entire area red and I select this bone, it's still going to have that weight from here. Meaning that when I move it, it's not going to be, sorry, when I move this one, the red isn't going to move as much. What Auto Normalize does is it automatically removes the weights. So as you can see, now that I select this bone, it automatically removes the weights here. Auto Normalize is really useful, but it sometimes creates some little pink weights. And the problem with the pink weights is that they can't be weighted over. And in order to fix them, you have to go to edit mode. You have to find the vertices that are causing the problems. So let's say that this one here is turned pink. We select that vertex, we press N, and over here where the zeros are, if it's pink, it should all be -1. So then you just need to change those -1s to zeros. Hopefully that won't happen in this tutorial because it's usually a bit painful to do. Okay, so let's start with this rig. Now, I'm going to start from bottom up. So in this case, we have the foot here, and if I rotate, I'll see that I don't want this to move. So I'm just going to remove these weights. If I click here, I can see through the model, which allows me to weight the other sides. I completely forgot to enable Auto Normalize, so apologies about that. Whoops, 0. So there you go. It should have automatically weighted to this bone here. So as we can see, now we have the toes working. I'm going to do the same for the other. So just gonna delete it from here and from the back here. Let's just, there you go. Okay, this process is a bit painful and boring, but you know, it has to be done. So next, the feet. The feet. Now, when I rotate this, it's gonna move a lot of things that I don't want it to move. So I'm gonna remove weights from here, the top, from here, and from here. The way that you want the weights to work is you don't want to paint over where the bone is, because as you can see, it will just look weird. And this one here is fine, what I can see. I'm going to remove the weights from this back area here too, so that my foot can go in like that. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. So select this, remove these weights over here, the ones over here, and from the back there. If you press F, it allows you to resize the brush. I completely forgot to say that. So delete these. Oops, deleted a bit too much over there. There you go. So, apparently it rigged this area here. Might have been an accident. or it's just auto-normalize. Auto-normalize tends to do stupid things, as you can see here. And those you can just fix by removing the weights off of it, or doing the weight painting manually, which will avoid any future problems. And I'm just gonna, yeah. So, because this is gonna be a bit annoying to deal with, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the model, and I'm gonna select the bone that I want that to be rigged to. In this case, I want that to be rigged to the leg, and I'm just gonna set weights to 1 and paint that. So in this case, if I move this all here, let's select this here, I can set these weights here. And if now I select this and I set this to 0, it should automatically move it over the way I want it to. So in this case, to 0. This should not be weighted. Okay, yeah, that's being a bit annoying. That's just Blender for you. It can be what can be fixed. So okay, that's moving by itself. That's gonna be fixed now. So I select this over here, and with weights on 1, it's gonna paint over this area, and just this back here, and this back here, and it should move exactly as I wanted it to. Okay, and the other one too. Perfect. Okay, so our feet are done. Now we're gonna move over to the legs, and there's a bit too much weight on top, I think, because when I rotate it, yeah, it's gonna do some weird curvings. So setting weight to 0, and I'm just gonna, okay, that looks good, I think. Rotate it all the way, yeah. Just an interesting thing is the weighting isn't instantly going to set it to 0 or set it to 1. The way that it works in Blender is that you see this brush and how it's smoother, how it's going fading more or less. Yeah, that decides the weight amount that gets put into the model. So if you put it close, yes, it will set it to 0. But if you put it near the edges, it won't do as much. And yeah, that's fine for now. They don't match, but it's not that big of a deal right now for me. I could just remove a little bit from there so that they match a bit more. Maybe do the same over here. So rotate the light here. Rotate the light here. For some reason this is there's an issue. Auto normalize. That should not be happening. Still happening. Feet. There you go. Okay, much better. Okay, and now this up here. Now here I just want to remove the weights from the top. And a bit from this leg because this doesn't need those weights. And we're just going to do the same over here. Delete the weights from above. Delete a bit from that leg over there. And hopefully Blender, being smart, moved it over to the pelvis bone, this one here, which I'm pretty sure it didn't. Huh. Okay, it's not too bad anyway. Just gonna remove these extra weights here. This has a bit too much weight here. I didn't want to remove that much. This should be fine. No. Sorry. Disable see-through. Let me set the weights to maybe this number. No, a bit higher. So let's say this much. Maybe just a bit more. There you go. That should be fine, I think. We'll see. We'll always correct. We can always fix this stuff after we've tested it out in game, because then that's usually when all the problems show up. Okay, over. There you go. It's gonna be a bit weird, but again, we'll see how it looks in game and then correct it, what needs to be fixed. Okay, next we're gonna work on the spines. Everything seems fine here. Everything seems fine here. Yeah, those pieces are gonna go inside, but that's normal anyway. Though this should be definitely weighted to this bone here and not the one below that one. So I'm just gonna, with weight set to 1, paint these edges here. So like that's when I move this. I'll just keep it how it was for now, and then see how it looks in game. It's not too problematic. Yeah, that's the problem with Blender's automatic weights, is sometimes does some weird things. Like this. This should not be moving, even though it is. So I'm just gonna, with see-through enabled, pass the brush through. Still moving, I'm guessing because of the arms. Yeah. I'm just gonna remove this weight here, and the weight here. Okay, so now when I move this, okay, good. Now I just want to fix a bit over here that should not be moving, and the same with this part here, the arms. This should not be moving. Okay, this seems fine to me. This seems fine here. Next, this should not have weights there. This should be around here, because this is the shoulder, and it's going to be rotating downwards in this case. So let me. I'm going to edit this bone a bit. So I'm going to move it. Let's say maybe. No, it was fine how it was. Never mind. With this close mode. Yeah, that all seems fine anyway. This is not fine though. This only should be here. Yeah, something like that. This isn't the final rig anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about how everything is looking. Okay. Move all this here. That should not be happening, so just gonna. That seems fine. Do the same. Yeah, it does. So I'll just put this in here. This should not have weights. These edges should move along with it. These don't have any weights, hopefully. Oops. Yeah, it's all good. This here needs a bit of fixing. So I'm just gonna. That's right. Yeah, on Y. Like that, that's fine. And finally the face. The neck doesn't seem to be rotating interestingly. Ah, that's why. So I'm just gonna, with a brush, pass it through under. Oops. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay. I'm guessing it. Okay, as long as it doesn't mess up the rest of it. Okay, that all seems fine. So if I go here to object mode where I can see everything, I'm just going to test out the rigs. Okay, everything seems fine. There's a little issue I did not notice. I'm guessing, okay. So with the arm selected, set the weights here to 1 and just paint that over. Okay. If I move it, it'll be much easier to fix. So, if I go here to curve, this here sets this how strong the this gradient is. If I select the square one, the flat one, then as you can see, it's completely black. So it will instantly set the thing to weighted in this case. So I want to disable it. Whoops. Actually, I think that's fine. Yep. Okay. That good. Let me see how it looks in object mode. Yeah, seems fine to me. How about the legs? That's good. That's good. I mean, armor doesn't rotate, but we need to fix that little spike there too. Yeah, sometimes auto normalize does really stupid things. And this is a pretty good example. I don't know why it chose to rig it to the leg, but whatever. Okay, leg is fine, isn't it? No spikes. Cool. Next, let's move this. Oh look, more spikes, because why not? Yeah. Whoops. Let's paint that. And for that spike, I'm not sure. This all looks fine because it's all red, but you know, Blender. Yeah, rigging is the one thing that is just dumb with Blender. There's things that they need to really fix, but well, I don't know. Okay. So, alright. This all seems fine. Just gonna move the arms just to make sure there's no spikes forming. Okay. Just one little thing that I need to fix here is the weighting here, because this should not be showing anything like that. So I'm just gonna, with weight set to 1, quickly paint over section. Don't forget to do it at the back. Okay, select the entire model, and I'm just gonna remove the weights there from the neck. In fact, I'm gonna select the neck bone and paint it myself. And be very careful not to paint the sides. Boop. 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 That one paint there. And okay. That seems fine. That seems fine, even though it's moving a bit of the face. And let's just remove those. Reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger for some reason. Okay. Face moves and everything. Okay, so let's move in pieces by pieces. So let's start with all these faces, face parts. The good thing is I don't have to move around bones because I know it all belongs to one spot. So Control J, move it over to a different layer. Select all the pieces in weight paint mode, and let's just weight paint it to the face. So Z, with that selected, and this sets to 1, this here, and okay, cool. Let's correct his neck. Next, the feet pieces here. Move these to here. So select this. This should be painted to the toes. This should be painted to that toe. Okay. This should be painted to the foot. Not to that foot. This is going to be half painted to the foot and half painted to the leg. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, real armor doesn't bend that way, but you know, how else am I supposed to do it? Okay, it's moving the. Ugh. Blender, stop being stupid. Okay, move. Go here. Paint that. Paint that all. Okay, so just gonna move this, and I'm gonna move this, and I'm gonna paint these other parts onto the leg here. Okay, select this one. Whoops. Paint it to the leg here. Okay. Cool. These armor pieces are done, and those pieces that I think are done, I'm just gonna merge them to the actual model. So I'm just gonna select these. Whoops, selected the bone there, and Control J. Same with all these face pieces. Control J. Okay. Next, move in these pieces here. So these are all going to be rigged to the leg, this lower leg here. I accidentally merged the two sides, but it's fine. I'll survive. I can paint one without painting the other, hopefully. Okay, paint this entire one here. So when I rotate this, okay. Next, so to stop that hole from appearing, I'm gonna paint a little bit the bottom part of this one to the leg. So please select the correct bone. Okay, now just paint just the bottom part, and the rest, the upper part, to the leg above that. Okay, and let's do the same here. Select that bone, just the bottom part there. Yeah, sorry this isn't the most interesting part of the tutorial, but that's how it is. Rigging can be fun if you can make it fun, but watching other people rig is not the most fun thing to do, to be fair. Okay, happy with how that looks. Now, these parts here are going to be a bit annoying. The knife is probably going to end up by stabbing him in the gut when he moves, but not much I can do about that, sadly. Not with the current source rig. So, join that. And I'm going to merge everything here. I don't really want the knife to bend, because that's going to look really weird. Okay, stabs him in the crotch instead. I guess that works. Or should I make it rotate with this? Yeah, I guess. I'll see how it looks in game and then fix it to my liking. This should be rigged to I guess I'll rig it to this one and see how that, because I'm going to be moving forward and backwards anyway. Okay, I'm going to rig this one to the same one. Again, I'll see how it looks in game and then judge it on there. And I'm going to rig this top one to this one above. Okay, move the bit of, okay. I'll see how it looks. Excuse me. I'll see how it looks in game. Select the entire model, Control J. Next, these little pieces here, I'm just gonna merge piece by piece. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. Okay, move them individually. Hopefully these are all just to the chest area, so I won't have to select specific bones. But that would be too easy, wouldn't it? Okay. This did I rig the entire knife? Okay, yeah, I did. So I guess I'll just paint this one to that, and then paint the rest of them to the. Actually, these all go to the same anyway, so it doesn't matter. So okay. Well, I'll see how that looks later. This is just annoying me though, because I don't really like how the chain is looking. But I'll see how it looks in game afterwards. That's the thing. Next, these pieces go onto the shoulder, so we're going to move them over. And I can actually just rig them to this arm. No problem. Okay. Do the same for this. Control J. Move over here. Now, I'm not going to be spending this entire tutorial fixing the model for you guys, because you guys can do that when you're making the model. Because I don't want you to use this to, you know, I don't want to make this into a, hey, watch me rig something, because this is supposed to be a tutorial for teaching you guys. Okay, so how am I gonna do this one? I'm gonna definitely rig this to here. I'm gonna definitely rig this to the here. Then I select, whoops, then select this, join it. Okay, next. Not sure what this is. Doesn't look useful. Oh, okay. Let's just rig it to here. Okay, I'm just gonna move the entire arm down. This definitely has to be rigged to this bone. Same for this piece. So I guess I'll just make the metal flexible or something. Yeah, that'll just be what I do. So rig this entire piece here. Maybe to the. Okay, we'll set the rig to 0.5, and I will wait to paint this middle area green. And I will do the same for here. Paint this middle area green. Paint it green. The other part will be red. So when I rig it. Okay, this will be this entire piece. I think I'll just paint it red. Not sure. I have to see how it will react. I guess I'm not too satisfied, but I'm not gonna stress over it. Not in the tutorial. Okay, this will be red here. Okay, and that's everything, isn't it, for the arm? Ah, yeah, I knew I missed some stuff. Okay, so first of all, this is acting like this because I painted it half here, but I didn't paint it half here. So I'm gonna set this to 0.5 on this bone here. So 0.5. This should be 0.5. Really, Blender? Okay, wait, it's because of auto normalize. So I'm just gonna select here, and before I paint it, disable auto normalize. Here, auto normalize. Okay, I'll just paint this entire thing red and this entire thing red. Okay, I'll just paint this red here, and then I'll just see how it looks in game anyway. Doesn't matter too much now. It's too late. Okay. I don't really care too much anyway, because this is just for the video. You guys will clearly, when you're doing yours, you're going to do a better job than I am currently. Okay. And paint this, no, not in edit mode. really sorry. This is boring. Okay. Okay, it rotates and stuff. That's what's important. Finally, this arm here and then the cape. Move it over here. I actually don't know why these model pieces are here. I would just delete them, honestly. That's what I'm gonna do. Delete it. Okay, so this definitely rig it to here. This definitely rig is here. Now for fingers, it has to be in the joints, so paint this like this. Move it. Paint this like this. Move it. And then paint this. Oops. Red. Okay. I'll just do very quickly for the other ones. So paint this here, move it, paint this here, move it, paint this here, move it, paint this over here, move it, paint this here, move it, paint this here, move it. And these I will just paint into that bone because I don't feel like doing the too much work right now because I want to speed this part up so that you guys don't need to watch this extremely long video. Now for the cape, this is a bit weird because I can't really get the cape to bend in a natural way when it comes to the source engine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna weight it all to this bone up here. Might not look extremely pretty, but at least it's a cape. So at least you get the cape. If you don't want the cape, then you can always get rid of it. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied in big quotation marks with my rig, everything is how I want it, I'm going to import the human reference model again. So source engine, male reference. And what I'm going to do, I'm not sure what it did here, but what I'm going to okay, I'm really curious what the heck this stuff is. It created new, it created the forward bones and all of those that I don't really need right now. So okay, so I'm gonna go select the human model, go to the wrench, and here just delete the armature. Like this will stop the entire model from moving along when I move the skeleton. So there you go. Now we want to position our model to match up with the human model as much as we can. So move this maybe around here a bit. This is another boring and tedious part, but it's all mandatory to do when it comes to making player models. I'm gonna move this a bit here. I'm gonna of course do this very quickly because I don't want to bore you guys. Let's say around ish here. Honestly, if I was taking this very seriously, then I'd be doing a much better job, but that's not why I'm here. And okay, something like that. Not perfect, but that's fine. The legs are fine, I don't need to move them. This needs to be moved down a bit. Like this. I need to actually move this area back. Whoops, wrong one. That. Arm is around here. This goes on around like that. Actually, this needs to be moved up. Just rotate it like that. Then rotate it like that. Except in the correct direction, please. Thanks, Blender. Ew. Okay, and something like that. I'm rushing this, but you guys would want to do a much better job than me. Now I'm going to delete the human reference model, and if I am unsatisfied with how a specific part looks, then in edit mode I would edit the model, of course, and fix that. But now that everything is exactly positioned how it should be, we're going to go to pose mode on the bones, press A twice, apply pose as like the last time. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do one important step. Select the model. Here in the armature modifier, press apply. Now go to the bones, press A twice, do the apply pose as rest pose. And now when I add modifier armature and I select the gut skeleton, it should work perfectly fine. Yep, and it does. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the bones, and I'm going to import another human reference model because this one will have the correct bones. As you can see, it has the attachment, the forward, and anything else I might have deleted. Delete the human skeleton, make sure everything works. Right, I need to do the apply to here, and it should work with our rig from our last model. Okay, now that that is done, what I'm going to do is select the model. Oh wait, first I want to make sure that the textures are correct, and I don't want this, so I'm going to call this guts. Just guts, like that. So now that I have the texture set up, select the model, select the bones, go here, SMD. I'm going to put this in here, accept, export, SMD. Give it a minute, and one file exported. Now we can close Blender. We won't be needing it afterwards. And this is the latest one, 1156. So I'm going to name this reference. Reference. Yep. And in my desktop, whoops, I just launched Dark Souls. Sorry. Okay, that launches Dark Souls. So I'm gonna this is, you guys are gonna download this, obviously. It's in the description. You want the ragdoll, player model, and physics model, and you want to copy that over to the folder where your stuff is. I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna name it to match my material in Blender, so guts. So now I'll edit the QC, and you just need to change 3 things. So this needs to be named to your reference. So reference. This you change it to your texture path. So I would want it to be in materials, models, berserk, and another slash, and the texture is going to be in that folder. And model path is going to be models, players, slash guts dot mdl. Did I get the slash in the correct direction? No, I did not. Sorry about that. Players guts dot mdl, and I don't need an extra mdl. Everything else you just leave it as it is, and you can close this, and you can run the QC, compile. Should work perfectly fine. Oops, that was the wrong QC. Sorry, I forgot to go to browse. So go to browse, find your model. So in my case, I'll do Gmod, guts player model in here, load up the QC, and compile. Okay. So, how's the weather today? Okay, it's done compiling. Awesome. So, the model should be in the folder where your QC is in, compiled. Now you want to copy it, load up your Gmod folder. I have a shortcut on my desktop. If you don't know how to get to it, you go to Steam, right-click Gmod, Properties, Local Files, Browse Local Files. You want to open the Gary's Mod folder. Now, you open the models folder. If it doesn't exist, you create the folder. And in this case, the players folder doesn't exist. So I'm going to open models, players, And I'll paste this here. And next we need the textures. So if I go to my QC, I set the texture path to models Berserk. So open materials, models. Now I'm going to create a new folder, Berserk. And I called the model guts. I called the texture guts in Blender. So I'm going to open up VTF edit. I'm going to import my texture. Import import gmod guts Playermodel swordsman. This one. Okay. It's a big texture because okay. Save it. And I'm gonna call it. Because I named the material guts in Blender. I'm gonna call it guts here. Guts. Here it is. I'm just gonna capitalize it. Capitalization doesn't matter. I'm just extremely picky about this stuff. Okay. Sorry. That was just a reminder for me. Next, I want to copy over the VMT. Paste it into the folder where my textures. So in this case, the models Berserk folder, and I need the name to match the texture. So now open up the VMT with VTF edit, and you just need to change this here. And in our case, it's models Berserk, and text. Now we need to give it the texture name. In this case, it's guts. So guts. Save it. And last but not least, we just need a Lua code. So I'm gonna go all the way back into my Garry's Mod folder, open Lua, auto run, and I can just paste this here. I'm gonna call this guts Playermodel. Never put spaces in anything, honestly, because coding doesn't like that a lot. So Lua code is relatively easy to do. Just change this to whatever you want your character's name to be. So in this case, guts, and this will be, in my case, will be models player slash player or players. I don't remember which one I said. Players. So models players, and it's called guts, isn't it? Guts. Yeah. And just do the same here. Models players slash guts. Save. Close it. Close it. Close this, and run gmod. Okay. I'm gonna do it in Sandbox because that has the Q menu and that just lets me do things easily. I have little to no mods, so this should load relatively quickly. Yeah, I know something's getting script errors, I don't care. Now I'll fix it, don't worry. Okay. And if I go to my C menu and I load up my Playermodel, guts should be there. Now, yeah, there are some things that need work, I can see that, but you can easily just load up the model again in Blender and you can fix that stuff. I'm not going to go through that today because I've already made this video extremely long, but it works. That's the important part. So yeah, that's all you guys need to know for making player models. Your next step, yeah, would be to load this back up into Blender and fix what needs to be fixed, because there are some things that definitely need to be fixed. The hair, I need to add transparency. That is a bit painful to do, so I'm not going to be doing that too much. I'm not going to be doing that because the tutorial is already extremely long. So yeah, actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it really quickly. So I'm going to load up my texture. Where is my texture? Texture. Black swordsman. Okay. Gonna load this with paint.net. Okay. So it already has transparency, but Valve, the source engine, doesn't recognize this sort of transparency. So in order to fix this, you want to, with your image editor, you want to set curves, or you just want the entire thing to be white. So I'm just gonna keep. No, sorry, I want the entire thing to be black. My bad. So with brightness, contrast, anything, Just paint everything black, as you can see. Next, you want to new layer. I'm gonna paint this entire new layer white. So like this, you can see that the parts that aren't gonna be painted, that are gonna be in the parts that I think I flipped this around. Yeah, I probably flipped this around. My bad. If not, then you can easily fix it anyway. So invert colors. So the parts that are white are going to be visible, and the parts that are going to be black are going to be invisible, and the colors in between are going to be not as visible. I think this is correct, but we can easily check this. So you want to get a program called DXTBMP, load it open, and import your texture in there. So here's my texture. As you can see, it automatically removed the transparency. Now we want to save this. I'm going to call it mask. Anything PNG would be the best choice. Or BMP, it doesn't matter. Save. Okay. Yep. Close it. Now we go to import alpha channel. Okay. And you want to find your folder. So gmod. In this case, it would be guts player model. Guts player model. Black swordsman. Here it is. And if you want to save as targa with alpha. So save. And now when we load it into VTF edit, it should work. So guts.tga. Let it load. Okay, so if I press Control M, I should be able to see the layers. So as I thought, I flipped it around, and I'm really sorry making you guys wait. Let me just reload the mask in. Let me flip the colors. Save. So white is not transparent, black is transparent. That's how it is. Okay, reload it into here. Import alpha channel. Okay. Okay. Save this as targa with alpha. Save. Yes. Now if I reload this into VTF edit import TGA. Okay. This should hopefully work. Control M. Okay, now I can see the transparent parts. So I'm going to save this again as guts. Should be right here. Yep, 1206. I'm going to paste this into my materials folder, placing the other one. And now we open up the VMT, and you create a new line. So you put the dollar symbol, you type alpha test space 1. Save it. Look into Gmod, and there you go, transparency. Yep, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section, and I will try to help you to the best of my ability. Yep, that's everything.